Greetings and happy Monday. So here we are. We are live. I'm not at Agile Learning Labs World Headquarters, but that's okay. I'm hanging out with all of you. And today's topic is defects and done. And I'm looking down at my computer because I want to see if I can watch this live thing while it's happening. Anyway, so I got a question sent to me a little while ago. And the essence is the developers on our Scrum team are done with a story, aka product backlog item, and then defects are found during QA testing. Do we count it done? What about the defects? All right, well, this is an interesting one. So the concept of done in Scrum, the essence of what does it mean to be done, is that the thing that we're producing for the business is ready for the business to capture the value. So if we haven't done the testing, well, it's probably not done. And so first thing I'd want to look at here is why isn't that part of our definition of done, right? And it's an anti-pattern that I see very frequently where the programmers on a software Scrum team, they want to say that, hey, we're done, and then throw it over the wall to some other people, the QA people, and let them do their thing. And if they find any problems, well, great, right? They can send those back to us. That is not the spirit of Scrum, right? The spirit of Scrum is we are a multidisciplinary team. We have programmers, we have testers, we have documentation people, we have different kinds of specialists on our team. And together, we get something all the way done so that it is releasable, so that deciding whether or not that particular piece of functionality should be released now becomes a purely business decision. And so my first reaction is, whoa, we're not really being a team, right? If there's this separate QA group. Now, that's my first reaction. Second level reaction is, well, there's lots of different kinds of environments, right? There are places where we do have a production kind of QA group that runs a set of automated tests and maintains that and reports back to the development teams about any regressions that happen and all of that. So certainly there are environments where there might be additional QA outside of the teams, and it might actually be a healthy and useful thing. So given that, let's dive into what do we do about defects, and what kinds of defects are they, and how do we handle them? So the way I think about it, there are four kind of different kinds of bugs. The first kind of bugs are bugs that we already know about. Imagine that it's the first day of the sprint, we haven't begun any work yet, and we already know these bugs exist, right? They've been field reported bugs or things like that. And those are just product backlog items. They should go in our product backlog right along with enhancement requests and other things like that. They should be refined. They should be estimated. All of the normal stuff so that our product owner can order them in the product backlog in such a way that the development team will always be working on the most valuable outcomes possible, right? Sometimes the best way to add value to our product is to let's add this new feature or enhancement. Sometimes the best way to add value to our product is, hey, let's remove this defect because that will add a lot of value. So the first kind of bugs are bugs we already know about. They should be in our product backlog, and they should be treated like any other story or any other item in our product backlog. Estimate them, bring them into sprint planning, right? Have the team commit to them just like any other item. The second kind of defect or bug are issues that we created this sprint. What I mean by that is we were working on something this sprint and we broke something, right? Maybe I was adding a new feature and I caused a regression. Or maybe I was adding a new feature and I thought I had it all working correctly and it turns out it's really not all working correctly yet. And, so if we cause the issue this sprint and we find the issue this sprint, Well, it's not even a defect then. It's simply that the story or the product backlog item that we're working on isn't done, right? It's not okay to say, hey, I got this story done. I mean, I broke 7 other things that used to work, but hey, I got the new thing done. No, you don't have the new thing done, right? Done has to mean that we didn't break anything, right? The thing is working as intended. It meets all of its acceptance criteria, and it didn't cause any bad side effects or regressions. So that's the second kind of bug, right? Or defect, something that we caused this sprint. The third variation is essentially something we caused by work that we did, but despite our best efforts to catch those things during the sprint, this one got missed, right? So our item was marked done. It met all of its acceptance criteria. All the members of the Scrum team, right, gave their agreement that, hey, yeah, this item's done as far as I can tell, right? I've done my best effort to check it out. I don't see any problems. I think it's done. We show it in sprint review, and the stakeholders are like, yay. And then next week, or the week after, right, somebody finds an issue. Well, that issue really just becomes a type 1 bug, meaning, right, it becomes a new request. Hey, please fix this thing. That goes through our normal product backlog refinement process, becomes a story in a future sprint. Unless it's a type 4 bug. A type 4 bug is an emergency. And when we have an emergency, that's something that can't wait, right? Absolutely, we have to deal with this right away. It's even more important than the stuff that we were planning on doing this sprint. And for that, we use the emergency protocol. And the emergency protocol works like this. We want one person who's empowered to declare something an emergency. An emergency is something that is urgent and also very important, right? In fact, more important than the stuff the team is already working on in the sprint. We're willing to sacrifice some of the committed stuff this sprint in order to deal with this thing that is so important that it's an emergency. Generally, that should be the product owner who gets to make that decision, because it's a business decision, right? To say, this new thing is actually worth sacrificing the existing stuff for. So if the product owner says, yeah, this is an emergency, then I want that product owner to go to the team, say, team, we've got this emergency, really urgent, need you to deal with it right away. And the team as a whole takes ownership of that emergency, and they decide what's the best way for us to address this. Maybe the whole team is going to swarm on it. Personally, I like that answer. But maybe the team decides, just 1 or 2 of us would be enough to address that. Everyone else can, work on the normal stuff. Okay, right? Maybe that's okay. But what's important is that the team decides, right? They take ownership of it. And then once the emergency is over, at the next daily scrum, we simply ask, can we still deliver all the stuff we committed to? If the answer is yes, great, continue on, business as usual. If the answer is no, we look to our product owner. We ask the product owner, hey, which of the things in the current sprint commitment would you like to sacrifice in order that we can focus all our efforts on the remaining things and get those done this sprint? And in that case, right, that the bug that caused all this, right, the emergency bug, that one does not, it's not a story. It doesn't give story points. It doesn't count in our velocity. Now, we probably will show it and talk about it in sprint review because it is an outcome that the team created, right? Hey, we fixed this emergency bug, so we want to share that with our stakeholders. That was an important piece of value that we created, right? Putting out the fire, that's valuable. But it doesn't count in our velocity, because velocity is a tool for predicting when are we going to get the planned stuff, right? The stuff in the product backlog. So unplanned work doesn't count for that. So coming back to the original question, defects and done. Again, reading the question, developers on our Scrum team are done with a story. Then defects are found during QA testing. Do we count it as done? No. What about the defects? Fix them. And once all that's done, then great, then the story's probably done. If you'd like to read more about this, go to agilelearninglabs.com, click on our blog. 2 recent posts, one in April is on this topic explicitly, defects and done. And then Before that, this is me scrolling back on the blog to look. In March, we published one called Emergency Work in Scrum, where we talk about that emergency protocol. As always, if you would like to up your Scrum game, perhaps with a Certified Scrum Master Workshop or Certified Scrum Product Owner Workshop, or our fancy schmancy new Advanced Certified Scrum Product Owner Workshop, head on over to agilelearninglabs.com and sign up for one of our public classes, or reach out to us if you'd like to bring us into your company. We love doing that. Otherwise, have a great week, and thanks a lot. Bye for now.